New details emerge about the suspect in the Las Vegas Cybertruck explosion as police reveal letters left behind by Army soldier Matthew Livelsberger.
This is an excerpt from that letter. He says, fellow service members, veterans, and all Americans, time to wake up. We are being led by weak and feckless leadership who only serve to enrich themselves. This was not a terrorist attack. It was a wake-up call. Americans only pay attention to spectacles and violence. What better way to get my point across than a stunt with fireworks and explosives?
Our next guest, former Green Beret Tim Kennedy, knew the suspect and is shown here with him. They both competed in a military-style reality show. He joins us now. Tim, thank you for joining us. First off, I just got to ask you, it had to have been pretty wild for you to have seen the story and the news coverage of it, and then to look at pictures and say, oh my gosh, I knew this guy, I've met this guy.
Yeah, it took about 36 hours, honestly, about a day and a half into it, when more photos started emerging as to what he looked like in some photos from earlier in his life, 10 years, 15 years ago when I knew him, before I was able to put it together. And I was just flabbergasted. I was left speechless. I couldn't believe it because I really enjoyed the time that I got to spend with him. And I found him to be incredibly competent and talented as a special forces operator. And man, I was floored, to be honest. I didn't know what to do or say. Anything,
and I realize you obviously you didn't stay in touch with him over the years, but anything that you remember particularly about his personality that strikes you as particularly kind of hard to wrap your brain around?
Yeah, Charlie, start to finish, categorically, the guy was a great dude. He was fit. He was a good shooter. He was a good communicator. There's 5-6 events that we did in this reality competition show, mostly based around soldier skills. And in every instance, he was seemingly a great person. None of this checks out. On the special forces side, he was first a special forces communications sergeant, and then an intelligence sergeant, and then ultimately an 18 Zulu. So he went through kind of every single one of the checks and balances. He was a talented Green Beret, and sounds like everybody liked to work with him. So none of this makes sense, and it's so heartbreaking. I truly hope that this is a wake up call for service members to make sure that we're checking in with each other right now. But it's so heart wrenching.
So you guys are Green Berets. You're the absolute best of the best. And I guess that's part of the reason why this is so shocking to those of us watching this, and especially people who know Green Berets. What did you make of those letters?
Yeah, they seemed unhinged. His current standing was one that he is a good soldier. And, then kind of clearly in a few months leading up to what happened in front of the Trump Tower in Las Vegas, something broke. Yeah. And they're very scary letters to come from somebody that is so talented in so many different things. The selection process for Green Berets is arduous, and they're very, very particular, and very rarely do you see, of course, there's going to be bad apples, but this doesn't seem like a bad apple. This seems like somebody that was hurt or broken or very scared. And, I've been at a loss for words for the past day and a half.
Yeah. Well, I think a lot of us are. Tim Kennedy, thank you for your service, and thank you for joining us this morning.
Yeah. Thanks, Charlie. God bless.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.